So let me ask you this. Are you still standing by Lamar Jackson after what just got said about him? Because this time, the shots weren't subtle. One of the most well-known voices on TV just went off on the Ravens quarterback live on air. And he didn't come empty-handed. He came with stats, playoff history, sarcasm, and a take that made a lot of people uncomfortable. What he said wasn't just criticism. It felt like a direct message to the team, to the fans, and especially to the media that keeps pushing Baltimore as a top contender every single year. The real question is, did he cross the line, or did he just say what a lot of people have been thinking all along? You can talk about the flashy stats, the 13-win seasons, and all the Lamar Jackson highlights you want. But Fox Sports analyst Nick Wright, he's done with it. On Mina Kimes' podcast, he didn't hold back. He straight up mocked the Ravens, calling them a team that only looks good when the games don't really matter. And the way he said it, pure sarcasm. If we're going to celebrate Week 12 DVOA, then go ahead and hang a banner for it, he joked. That one hit hard. Nick's point is simple. What's the use of dominating the regular season if you disappear when it actually counts? And it's not just a one-time thing. According to him, it's become a pattern. Every year, the Ravens come in strong, get people hyped up, and then fall flat in the playoffs. No fireworks. No clutch moments. Just disappointment. Wright doesn't care how good they look on paper. Until they show up in January, all that hype means nothing. And he didn't stop there. He even went after the media and fans who keep putting the Ravens in the same tier as the Chiefs and Bills, season after season, despite the postseason letdowns. Why does Baltimore keep getting that kind of respect, he asks, when history tells a different story? For Wright, it's about delivering when it matters. And that brings us to the one name that always ends up at the center of this pressure, because when it comes to playoff failures, always comes back to Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is a game changer. When he's on, the Ravens feel unstoppable. But when you look at his playoff record, the story shifts. And that's exactly where Nick Wright came in swinging. He reminded everyone that Lamar is just 3-5 in the postseason and has never beaten the Chiefs or the Bills in January. Worse, in 3 playoff games against those teams, Baltimore only scored more than 10 points once. That's tough to hear, but it's also a pattern that's hard to ignore. And it's not just about the scoreboard. It's about the moments. Those highlight reel plays we see all season long. They disappear in the playoffs. Lamar hasn't been the guy when it's mattered most. And for a quarterback who's seen as the face of the franchise, the leader who's supposed to take Baltimore to the Super Bowl, that's a huge gap to fill. Nick basically threw this question out there. If Lamar's truly elite, why does he always shrink in the biggest games? Of course, it's not all on him. Football's a team sport. Everyone has a role in those losses. But let's be real. Quarterbacks get judged by a different standard. And no matter how talented Lamar is, and he's insanely talented, there comes a point where talent alone isn't enough. In the playoffs, it's about who delivers when the margin for error is 0. And that's where frustration boils over, especially when the media keeps hyping the Ravens like they've already earned their ring. One of the most brutal parts of Nick Wright's rant came when he took aim at what he called the meaningless performance culture. He mocked how so many analysts praise the Ravens for advanced stats, like offensive DVOA in Week 12, as if that means anything in January. He went full sarcasm. Hang the FING banner, he said. Translation? Stop acting like mid-season stats are trophies. His point was loud and clear. Enough with the pretty analytics if the team keeps failing when it counts. Nick ripped into the idea that the NFL media has become obsessed with style over substance. That some folks care more about how a team looks than whether they actually win games that matter. And in his view, the Ravens are the poster child for that trend. Impressive on paper, underwhelming in the postseason. This wasn't just a shot at the team. It hit analysts, fans, and the entire narrative that's been built around Baltimore for the past few years. It was like he was saying, you're all falling in love with stats and forgetting what makes a team great. And when criticism is wrapped in sarcasm like that, it hits way harder. But what really gets under Nick Wright's skin? It's not the numbers. It's the way people keep ignoring what those numbers actually mean.
All right, we're already past the halfway point of this video, But before we continue, I noticed you haven't left a like yet. It's really important because it helps YouTube keep showing you my content so I can keep bringing you the best news about the Baltimore Ravens. So go ahead and hit that like button. It's free and it really helps. Thanks. Now let's get back to it.
Nick Wright just can't figure it out. How do the Ravens keep getting ranked so high when every time the pressure's on, they fall apart? He called out directly. Why are we still treating Baltimore like an elite team when they consistently play their worst football, when the stakes are the highest? And more importantly, why does no one seem to care? It's always the same story, right? Every offseason, people say this is the Ravens' year. The regular season starts. They look great. Lamar's back in MVP conversations, and everything seems to click. But then January comes, and everything falls apart. Nick's point? This isn't a fluke anymore, it's a pattern. And when a pattern keeps repeating, it's time to stop treating the team like they've already done something they haven't. That criticism stings because this team isn't bad. Far from it. The Ravens have real talent, a legit defense, a great head coach, and a dynamic quarterback. But none of that earns you endless respect. For Nick, and honestly, for a growing number of fans, respect has to be earned with results. And right now, the Ravens are still chasing that. And just in case anyone tries to say he's just a hater, Nick made it crystal clear. He's not anti-Ravens. At the end of the day, Nick Wright isn't beefing with Ravens fans, or even with Lamar himself. His issue is with how people are ignoring what history keeps showing us. He put it simply, I'm not anti-Ravens. I'm pro-history. And what that means is, if the past keeps showing the same playoff failures, how long can we keep pretending this team is something it's not? His frustration doesn't come from hate. It comes from watching a team with this much potential, this much firepower, keep falling short. And at some point, we have to stop brushing that off. When your star player consistently has his worst games in the biggest moments, that has to matter. That has to be part of the story. And this isn't bitterness, it's accountability. In the NFL, greatness is measured in January and February, not in Week 10. Until the Ravens flip that switch and actually deliver when it matters, people are going to question them. And Nick Wright, he just said out loud what a lot of fans have been thinking for a while. So now the big question is, will Baltimore finally shut everyone up this time, or are we about to watch the same movie for the 6th year in a row? In the end, all Nick Wright really did was shine a light on what's been sitting in the background for years. No matter how talented this team is, and no matter how electric Lamar Jackson looks during the regular season, the postseason has been one giant red flag. It's time to stop pretending this isn't a trend. When the same story plays out again and again, the criticism is no longer unfair. It's expected. So I'll ask you, Ravens fans, did Nick go too far, or did he just speak the truth nobody else wants to say out loud? Do you still believe Lamar and this team are ready to take that next step, or is it time to stop living off potential and start demanding results? Because one thing is clear, respect in this league doesn't come from flashy stats or October hype. It comes from showing up when it matters most. And if Baltimore wants to silence all the doubt, they've got one place to do it, the playoffs.
And if you, just like me, are passionate about the world of football and want to learn more about the Ravens' legacy, don't leave this video without sharing it with that friend who is also a Baltimore Ravens fan and will love this content. See those video suggestions on your screen? The first one was handpicked just for you, and the other is a recommendation from YouTube itself. See you there, and until the next video, go Flock.